El caso de Johnny Depp y Amber Heard se estima que dure 6 semanas, pero durante estas semanas que han transcurrido hasta hoy, han pasado una serie de eventos importantes, es por ello que en este video veremos 5 momentos importantes y graciosos que han sucedido en el juicio. Johnny Depp y su equipo legal lucharon por contener la risa en la corte cuando un abogado que representaba a Amber Heard se opuso a su propio interrogatorio.
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay. Okay, you said he sustained an injury.
Johnny Depp y Amber Heard discuten una noche, por lo que Johnny Depp decide irse de la casa. A los días siguientes Johnny Depp recibe una imagen que le envía a Amber Heard de la cama de los dos donde hay materia fecal humana.
She got out of bed, she walked around the bed, she came to my side, and again, you've got a person who is throwing multiple shots at your face, at your head, at your neck, at anything she could hit. So I got up out of bed, and I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I sat her down on the bed. And I said, I'm leaving. Please don't get off the bed. Please don't follow me. Please don't try and stop me. I'm leaving. And she got up off the bed, and she squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom. And I said, what do you want to do? Hit me again? Would you like to hit me again? Go ahead, hit me. Bam. And then I just said, is that what you wanted? Would you like another? Bam. There's the second one. And I said, good, now you're done. Grabbed her by the shoulders, walked her to the bed, sat her down, and said, don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm gone. I went, I grabbed a few things, and I got out immediately, and I went to my other house on Sweetser. As Ms. Heard she was leaving following day for Coachella. Coachella is like it's a big event, a concert with, many bands, and out in the desert. She and her friends were going to Coachella for the weekend, and that was it.
Mr. Depp, after April 21st, 2016, when was the next time that you actually saw Ms. Heard in person?
I left Ms. Heard, I left Penthouse 3, I left at 4:30 in the morning. It was actually her birthday, it was 4:30 in the morning, April 22nd. And that's when I left. And from that moment on, I did not see Ms. Heard until May 21st.
And why was that?
I had received some news that was as absurd and grotesque and cruel. And then I was shown a picture of what the problem was. I had gone to Mr. Bett and said, she's at Coachella, I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, you know, and get them out of there, especially the things that were precious to me, you know, children things from friends, Brando, Hunter, Thompson, whatever, things that were important to me. And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph on his telephone of
Objection.
It's a photograph, Your Honor.
That's being related to his mother's phone.
He says he looked at it on his phone.
All of you, the judge has the photograph.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed, was human fecal matter. So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. My initial response to that was, I laughed. It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh. So I did not go down there.
Mr. Depp, how was your mother's health during this time?
Not good at all. My mom was in Cedars-Sinai Hospital, and she was on her way out. She was dying.
How often were you going to see her during this time?
As much as I could under the circumstances. When I did go and get to see my mom, she was pretty much incapable of speech. She seemed to, her eyes were still open, and she could kind of react with her eyes, but she couldn't speak. And then not long after that, once her eyes closed, she lay there for the duration of her life, which ended on the 20th of May, the night before I saw Miss Heard for the last time, well, essentially.
Los abogados de Jhonny Depp anticipan los cargos que hace Amber Heard, haciéndola quedar en ridículo y diciendo que ella es la abusadora.
I've just handed to Mr. Rottenborn and Your Honor an opposition that we prepared before we had the benefit of seeing Ms. Heard's affirmative motion to strike, but I think we've anticipated the arguments made, such as they are. The court should deny defendant Amber Heard's motion to strike because Mr. Depp has come forward in his case in chief with multiple credible witnesses, documents, and authentic tape recordings of Ms. Heard herself, not only satisfying all of the requisite elements of his claim for defamation, including actual malice, but also going the extra mile of showing that Ms. Heard physically abused him. She's the abuser in this courtroom. Your Honor, going back to the standard, as Your Honor is well aware, in considering a motion to strike, the trial court must view the evidence and all reasonable inferences drawn from the evidence in the light most favorable to the plaintiff. Any reasonable doubt as to whether the plaintiff has produced sufficient evidence of the wrong alleged must be resolved in the plaintiff's favor and the motion to strike denied, unquote. So while Ms. Heard may have avoided any direct mention of Mr. Depp's name, there is extensive testimony and evidence in the record showing that the implication of her op-ed could not be more clear, i.e., that Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard during the course of their marriage. Under Virginia law, quote, "It is not necessary that the defamatory charge be in direct terms, but it may be made indirectly. And it matters not how artful or disguised the modes in which the meaning is concealed if it is in fact defamatory." Citing Carwile, well, we can argue as to how artful.
Jhonny Depp le dice una verdad incómoda a Amber Heard sobre el tiempo que estuvieron en la isla.
How would you describe Mr. Bettany's relationship with Miss Heard while you and Miss Heard were together?
Abominable.
Why was that?
Ms. Heard despised Mr. Bettany mainly because we had become such close friends, and for her he was a threat, and would take me away from her with regard to if Paul Bettany was getting the attention from me. That was a showstopper. It would cause all kinds of unpleasantries, to the point of where, when we were on the island with Mr. Bettany, his wife, and his 4 children, Ms. Heard and Mr. Bettany got into some debate over lunch, and I just remember that whenever Mr. Bettany tried to make a point, she would talk over him, and then it started to get quite rude. She got mean, and she got loud, and then I believe he was his 18-year-old boy who was getting ready to go to a really very bright, brilliant kid. He entered the conversation because this was something to do with what he'd studied in school, and he knew quite a lot about it, and he voiced his opinion, and Ms. Heard demeaned that young man to the point of where he burst into tears and walked away, and it was at that point that I had spoken to Ms. Heard and said, that's just unacceptable. That behavior is unacceptable. You have no right to demean that boy. You cannot always be right. You should try being wrong sometime, because you might learn something. And then I asked her to, I thought it was best that she leave the island.
Please.
Jhonny Depp narra al juez y los jurados cómo fue que perdió la punta de su dedo.
There, she was there. And so I was leaning like this in the chair, looking at her. First bottle went, then got the other bottle shot. Takes the second bottle, which was the larger one. I'm in this position again, and my hand is on the edge of the bar, like that, and leaning over, the fingers like that, and she threw the large bottle, and it made contact and shattered everywhere. And I honestly didn't feel the pain at first at all. I felt no pain whatsoever. What I felt was, I felt heat. I felt heat, and I felt as if something were dripping down my hand. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed, and I was looking directly at my bone sticking out, and the meaty portion of the inside of your finger, and blood was just pouring out. And at that point, I think that I went into some sort of, I don't know what a nervous breakdown feels like, but that's probably the closest that I've ever been. Nothing made sense. And I knew in my mind and in my heart, this is not life. This is not life. No one should have to go through this. And as I said, this feeling of nervous, being in the middle of some sort of nervous breakdown, I started to write with my blood, in my own blood, on the walls. Little reminders from our past that essentially represented lies that she had told me, and lies that I had caught her in. And then the next thing, amongst all the madness, I would again hide in the bathroom or wherever, and I texted Dr. Kipper and I said, you might want to come over. I've cut my finger off here.
Which finger was cut, Mr. Depp?
It's the middle. It's a funny looking one. It's the middle finger here. You can see you can see all the sort of from the initial wound. All these bones up here were crushed, and it looked like Vesuvius. And so this part of my finger now is, so that because of not having use of the tip here, this is basically arthritis that kicks into the joint once that upper part of the finger is mangled.
Was that the right middle finger?
Right middle, yes.
And is that your dominant hand?
Yes, it is, yes.
Mr. Depp, after Ms. Heard threw the vodka bottle at you and severed your finger, What, if anything, did she say when she saw the injury?
I don't recall anything, but just, it was almost like white noise, just someone yelling. It was just a high-pitched, constant attack of insults. It was just jumbled words to me in a very high frequency, and I was in a bit of shock, you know? I was in shock.
You mentioned that you reached out to Dr. Kipper. Did you receive medical attention after that?
Yes, Jerry Judge, Malcolm Connolly, I believe Debbie Lloyd was there. Yes, Debbie Lloyd was there. Ben King had arrived as well.
Who is Ben King?
Ben King he's essentially a house, sort of an estate manager, and we worked together in London a few times, and he's a wonderful guy. So I brought along to Australia to manage everything. He's very good and very nice. And then there was also I mentioned Malcolm and Jerry. Yeah, they were there as well.
Which, if any, of the medical professionals that you saw that day did you tell what happened to your finger?
When Malcolm and Dr. Kipper, when they took me to, first we went to Malcolm's apartment where he was staying while we were shooting the film, and tried to clean my hand because I had worked the day before, and obviously when you're playing pirate, Captain Jack or whatever, you're covered. They paint with alcohol, with rubbing alcohol. They paint dirt all into your hands and into your face and everything. So they were worried about getting my finger clean. So they tried doing that at Malcolm's. And then Kipper said, no, we got to get to emergency room, and we got to get hold of the tip of his finger. So we went to the emergency room. The doctor asked me what happened, and I lied to him. I said that I had smashed it in these large accordion doors, that it got caught in the accordion doors.
Why would you lie about that?
I lied because I didn't want to disclose that it was what it was. I didn't want to disclose that it had been misheard, that it thrown a vodka bottle at me and then took my finger off. I didn't want to get her in trouble. I didn't want to. I tried to just keep things as easy as possible for everyone. I did not want to put her name in that mix.
Si te gustó el video, te recomiendo suscribirte y darle a la campanita. Hasta un próximo video.